Cream the Rabbit, everyone's favorite, I don't know. Sometimes she's a playable character that's central to the story, and other times you just sit back and wonder why the actual she's here. Today, we're gonna look at Cream's role in every Sonic game she appears in, and rank her from worthless to elite. In Cream's debut, she makes a pretty good first impression. After Eggman kidnaps her, along with her chow named Cheese and her mother Vanilla, things aren't looking too hot. But literally 5 minutes into the game, Sonic breaks her free and she decides to go adventuring with him to save her mom. And from that point on, you can play as her for the entirety of the game, and she's a solid frickin' option, being able to gain airtime thanks to her giant ears and use her chow as a weapon. At the end of the game, she successfully saves her mom, but then Eggman swoops in again to ruin her day, and Super Sonic goes up solo to take him down, while Cream just sits there and sobs about it. But being one of the better playable characters in the game, and the first one unlocked after Sonic himself, locks this in as one of Cream's best appearances to date. Elite. In the base Sonic adventure, Cream was nowhere to be seen, but in the DX port, she was added as an Easter egg you can find in Station Square, which is cool, but worthless. In Sonic Pinball Party, Cream can be found in the Casinopolis mode, where she takes you to whichever game you want to lose all your money to. I mean, at least she's employed, but still worthless. Sonic Battle gives Cream her own episode in the story, which is pretty big for her, but it doesn't exactly paint her in the best light. Sonic and Tails trust her to watch Emerl for a while, and just seconds into them being alone, Eggman shows up and captures them, without much resistance either. And then Emerl does all the fighting to break them out of Eggman's base, and Cream literally just stands there and does nothing, because apparently she's afraid of violence now, in a fucking fighting game. I don't know. She cries to Emerl constantly because she doesn't want to see him fight, then refuses to help him in battle, which gets him beat up worse, and afterwards, she cries more about not helping. Make up your mind and do something, damn it! It's a really obnoxious look for her. And sure, she's involved a good bit in the story and is part of the playable roster, but her contributions are little to none. Barely does anything. Sonic Heroes puts Cream into Team Rose as the flight archetype, which is the most useful one in my opinion, and she's playable throughout their entire adventure. The Team Rose playthrough is generally considered the easiest of the mix, which by extension means the characters are the most OP, and in the end she achieves her main goal of rescuing her missing Chao, while also playing a small role in taking down Metal Madness, which is a great look for her, and definitely belongs up in Elite. Unlike the second Sonic Advance game, the third doesn't incorporate Cream until the latter half of the game, but she's still made playable for all levels after that point, and is a very active participant in the story, particularly in the ending. After Ultimate Jamerl is defeated, his body washes ashore on the beach, Cream takes him to Tails to get repaired, and restores the personality of Emerl, the robot she befriended in Sonic Battle, and from there, she takes him home to live with her and her mother, where they live happily ever after. It's a very strong and compassionate look for her, but only being playable for basically the final act of the game takes her down a notch compared to the previous title. She's pretty useful. In Shadow the Hedgehog, Cream goes wandering around a creepy-looking castle, gets separated from her Chao, and gets herself stuck within its walls, needing Shadow to find and rescue both of them, which is a pretty incompetent, worthless look for her. In Sonic Rush, Cream is basically Blaze's BFF. When the two meet, Cream offers to be her tour guide for finding the Soul Emeralds, and after Blaze accepts, the two are pretty inseparable. She's there cheering Blaze on in levels and yapping in some cutscenes, but doesn't do much for the plot until she gets kidnapped by Eggman. Again, but this time to be used as bait for Blaze. It doesn't amount to much, and is really the most memorable thing about her in this game, but since she does help Blaze locate some of the Soul Emeralds that are vital to saving the day, I'll keep her just above worthless. Sonic Riders and its sequel Zero Gravity both treat Cream about the same way. After beating the game's hero story, she's unlocked as a playable character in free race mode, and has pretty average stats overall, making her a solid choice and nothing more. Barely does anything. Sonic and the Secret Rings only features Cream as an unlockable character in the game's party mode, which is something, but not a meaningful contribution to the events of the game, so another barely does anything. The Mario and Sonic Olympic games always feature Cream in some shape or form, but her role is pretty consistently lacking. In almost all the home console games, she's a common referee. In the handheld games that actually had story mode, she played a minor role and gave missions here and there, and in the 3DS version of the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, she makes her one and only playable appearance. Don't know why this of all games did it, but alright. To average all her appearances out, her minor cameos can't be dragged up by obscure handheld story modes and a one-off playable appearance. She's worthless to the series. In Sonic Chronicles The Dark Brotherhood, Cream does her trademark move of losing cheese and makes Sonic and Co go find him for her. Once they do, she joins the party, which is fairly early in the playthrough, and she's an incredibly overpowered member. Her healing abilities are broken and come in mega clutch, making her an easy choice for just about any party setup. Even as a certified Cream hater, I gotta put some respect on her name here. This is elite. Sonic Colors for the DS puts the previous game on its head and makes her out to be completely helpless. Orbot and Cubot, the most incompetent and stupid Eggman robots ever, are harassing her and trying to take her Chow away, and she cowers down to it and doesn't stand up for herself at all. Thankfully though, Sonic swoops in on 2 separate occasions to protect her. How can she go from the most OP character in the last game to not doing a thing here? Worthless. I'm giving Sonic Freeriders a separate section because she's actually involved in the main campaign this time around. She joins Team Rose for the Grand Prix, which now consists of her, Amy obviously, and Vector of all characters. In each team's story mode, they win their respective Grand Prix, but in the definitive ending, when Metal Sonic arises with all the racer data to kick anyone's ass, Sonic steps up to plate and beats him while everyone else is sidelined. I'd say it's pretty similar to her role in Sonic Heroes. Her team succeeds in what they were trying to do, even if the cash prize was fake, but since she doesn't contribute to the final act at all and really doesn't stand out much otherwise, we'll say pretty useful. In Sonic Generations, she's sucked into the void right at the beginning like everybody not named Sonic, but after she's saved, she helps out a little bit, giving Sonic a mission in City Escape and providing him a ton of extra rings. She also shows up for the Time Eater fight and sits in the background with everyone else cheering on the main heroes. Yeah, she barely does anything. Sonic Dream Team is an Apple Arcade exclusive that brings Cream back to a playable role for the first time in a mainline game since Sonic Advance 3, nearly 20 years earlier. That said, the game starts out looking pretty tough for her. Eggman's got her held unconscious in some kind of weird machine, and Sonic and the gang show up to rescue her, until it sucks them in, and they end up at different corners of this world of dreams. Sonic's the only one able to do anything at first, but after rescuing Amy, the two rescue Tails and Cream in one fell swoop, which is still pretty early in the game, and from then on, she's an equally contributing member of the crew. She doesn't stand out that much though. Most cutscenes focus on the entire cast of characters, and Sonic's the head yapper, with everyone else kind of being more situational. Still, as far as Cream the Rabbit is concerned, this is absolutely an elite look. And there you have it.
Make a pit stop for one of 4 delicious $7 Phillips from KFC.